Hello and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Firstly, I'd like to say a huge thanks to everyone who has commented on the videos I've posted before, or liked the videos I've posted before, or subscribed. So thanks a lot, really appreciated. Next thing is an apology. Yeah, I'm wearing this again, I'm afraid. This is Split Opinions, my leader's yellow jersey replica from the Tour de France. Sorry guys, I've commuted to work today and it is a jersey that's very comfortable to wear and it's very visible, so I'm afraid I do actually quite like wearing it. So I know it splits opinion. I'm not doing it to wind people up. I know I don't deserve to wear it, but yes, I did buy it, so I guess I can wear it from that perspective. So what am I here to talk about today? So far I've posted quite a few videos and it's clear to me that the ones that have really generated any interest out there are the ones that are about my new bike, the Canyon Aeroad. And what I wanted to do was bring a second update as to my impressions and thoughts on the Canyon Aeroad now that I've had it for just over a month. I've ridden it on a number of occasions, and I've ridden my Boardman and my Le Mans as well over the same period. I've tended to keep the Canyon for those dry rides. So with the exception of the Prudential Ride 100, where I'd driven down to London and I couldn't avoid getting wet on it, I've only really ridden the Canyon in the dry. However, I have got some updates on my opinions. Now, when I initially rode this, you probably remember I said it was a seriously amazing bike. So is that an opinion that I still hold, or have I kind of dulled that down? Has my enthusiasm for this bike dulled at all now that I've been riding it for about a month? Well, I'm delighted to tell you my enthusiasm has not dulled at all. This is an amazing bike and I'm loving it. And every time I ride it, I like it more. And I've got to apologise up front. This is all subjective. There's no science behind this. I don't have a lot of facts and figures to back it up. But you see, in my opinion, I think a lot of things that we do and bikes that we ride, it is about subjectivity. It's how they make us feel. And that's really what I can report on. So I've had quite a few questions about the comfort of this bike. So the first thing I'd say is that this bike, the Canyon Aeroad CF SLX Disc, is a really comfortable bike. I've done a number of rides that are over 45 miles, including the Prudential Ride 100, and it's not uncomfortable at all. Now, maybe that's just that I like this kind of geometry, but it certainly suits me, and I don't find that I'm becoming fatigued or sore or cramping or anything like that when I compare it to both the Boardman and the Le Mans. So first things first, this is a comfortable bike. The more I ride it, the more comfortable I'm finding it, and the more I'm enjoying riding it and using it. I find the reach good, the riding position good. I'm not getting any neck ache or back ache or leg ache or anything like that. This is a bike that seems to fit quite well. Maybe I'm just lucky. I haven't had a bike fit or anything and I bought it off spec online, but it does seem to fit me and it works well. So that's the first thing, comfort. In my first review of it, I mentioned how I had found the crosswind stability a little bit worrying when compared to the Boardman in particular. And I said that perhaps this was down to the deeper section Reynolds Strike carbon wheels at 62mm versus the 50mm Bax carbon wheels that I've got on the Boardman. Now, I've done a fair few more rides on the Canyon since then, and I've got to say, I'm not really noticing it as an issue anymore. Now, maybe I've just got used to it. Maybe I'm putting up with it. Maybe I've just been lucky and I've been riding and there's not been the crosswinds. But certainly I haven't been aware of it. And it seems to have faded away out of my consciousness when I'm riding the bike now in terms of, oh my God, is this stable or not? So that's a great thing. I'm feeling that the bike feels a lot more stable and I don't have any worry vis-a-vis crosswinds. Clearly, if I went out in a gale or something like that, it might be a different story. But the normal ride, 20, 30 mile an hour gusts, it seems fine. So that's great. The next thing that I reported on was that I had a problem with this saddle slipping and I was questioning this whole Aeroad seat post design and the clamp. And I've got to say, firstly, many thanks to all the people that recommended that I go out and get some carbon fibre paste to apply to the seat post and the inner workings of the frame and retighten it. You'll be pleased to hear that that's exactly what I did. And I bought a tube of this Finish Line fibre grip, as was recommended by a number of you, so many thanks for that. I took the seat post out, gave it a good dry off, reinserted the seat post and the clamp and retightened it to the 5 Newton meters recommended using the torque wrench supplied with the Canyon bike, and I'm delighted to say that since then I've not had the seat post slip at all. So great, thanks a lot guys. The next thing is that I had reported that I was going to swap out the Physic Aeroad saddle that came with the bike and replace it with my regular saddle, which is the charged spoon. Now, I did a 50 miler on Sunday just gone, and I must say I actually found it pretty comfortable. So even though I've bought my charged spoon in black with the red detailing, here it is, look, this is my trusty steed that I tend to put on all of my bikes, the delightful and trusty charged spoon. Even though I've bought that, I have given a bit of a stay of execution in terms of fitting it, because having ridden the bike for 50 plus miles on Sunday and finding the Physic Aeroad actually quite comfortable, I've decided to give it a stay of execution. The next thing is, okay, when I first reported on it, I was saying about how I find this bike, it accelerated well, it felt fast from the get-go, and I know a few of you were a bit frustrated by this because it wasn't very scientific, you wanted a direct test. Again, it's very difficult to do a direct test, you know, this is just little on me and a couple of bikes, and I'm reporting what I feel and how things go. I've got to say though that this bike just keeps on feeling better. It still feels hugely responsive. In all honesty, I'm not riding particularly faster on the Canyon than I am on the other bikes. However, it feels faster, it feels sharper, it feels like it accelerates better. Whether that's accelerating uphill, whether it's accelerating around corners, whether it's accelerating on the flat. It genuinely just feels quick. Now, I think it's because the frame is stiff. I don't feel any flex, there's no creaking, there's no rattling, the bike feels solid. And when I compare it with the Boardman, which, yes, admittedly, has done 8,500 miles, and the Le Mans, which is 20 years old, this bike feels taut and stiff and direct. Not at the expense of comfort, though, as I've already said. This bike feels stiff, taut, ready to go, ready to race, but not uncomfortable. In my mind, it's just the perfect bike. On top of that, the gear changes are ultra slick on it at the moment. Now, that's probably just luck. I'm running Ultegra on the Boardman, and I'm running Shimano 6800 on the Le Mans, which was the precursor to Ultegra. It's Ultegra level gears. The Canyon just feels like it's indexed better. It slots in with a real clunk every time you change gear. It's very positive, very direct, and there's no ambiguity as to upshifts or downshifts. And I think that's probably just luck, but it does just change gear brilliantly. It's confidence inspiring. The next thing are the brakes. I reported that these disc brakes feel phenomenal. They feel very responsive. They feel progressive. The control that you get with them is very good, and that hasn't changed. These brakes feel really good. Finding myself braking later when I'm coming down hills, coming to junctions, whatever, and that's a good feel. I'm not noticing any penalty in terms of an aero disadvantage and having to feel like I'm working harder, so I'm not sure whether there is an offset or not. And then the next thing about this bike, and I'm sorry to harp on about this, guys, but is it just makes me feel better. I look down and I see this lovely matte black strip on it that says Aeroad CF SLX. I see the red shiny frame that looks almost Ferrari-esque, and it just makes you feel like you want to go faster. It makes you feel like you're on a really good quality fast bike that is a lot rarer than the Boardman in particular. So it's really good. So first time I gave an update, I called it the good, the bad and the ugly. This time I think I just got to call it the good, the better and the beautiful, because this bike seriously is growing on me. Every time I ride it, I'm enjoying it more. I'm pushing myself a bit more. Yeah, sure, I may not be going a lot faster, but I'm enjoying the rides more and more. This bike is comfortable. I'm no longer worried about any kind of crosswind stability. The braking's good. The gear change is good and positive. I've even decided to give a stay of execution to whacking the charged spoon on it. I'm sticking with that Physic Ariona for a bit longer. So it's all good. So I hate to be boring, guys, and I'm sure it would be nice to deliver a little bit of controversy or so. That is, other than me wearing this yellow jersey. But I've got to say, it's a great bike. I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with this Canyon Aeroad. I know I made the right decision in purchasing it. I'm delighted with it, and I'm looking forward to many, many more months and years of riding this bike, doing sportives, doing events, club rides, etc., and getting a lot of satisfaction from it. So I hope you've enjoyed this update. Sorry it's just so oozingly positive, but if I had something negative to say, I would say it genuinely. It's just that I am still cock-a-hoop with this Canyon. Once again, many thanks for watching. It's appreciated. Please do slam me a like if you like it. Slam me a thumbs down if you didn't. And of course, do remember to subscribe. I've got loads and loads more content, some other good ideas, and look forward to speaking with you again soon. You've been watching Steve Baxter. Thank you very much and goodbye.